Today is the 22nd of September. It's just gone 6 in the morning, and we're recording this in Howick, South Africa. I call upon our Holy Father, Mother God, our Heavenly Holy Principal Creator of all that is, was, and ever can be, as we give thanks for this day, and we give thanks for this opportunity to be in higher communication with Spirit. I call upon the 9 beings of light that oversees our energy field at this time, for us here, for you wherever you are, and collectively as a group. I call upon the essence of Archangel Michael, Lord Jesus the Christ, Lord Metatron, Saint Germain, Lord Kuthumi, Archangel Ariel, Lord Ganesh, Lord Melchizedek, and Lord Maitreya, to protect us against all negativity projected towards us by any and all beings, consciously and unconsciously, incarnate and discarnate, from the north, the south, the east, the west, from above, from below, as also from within, to ground us within the light of Christ, so that at any and all times we are fully grounded, fully protected, and fully connected, to bless us with His Excalibur sword of truth, so that our truth always is and remains our communicating and motivating force of light. We call upon our guides and guardians, and those from the invisible realms, as we ask them to form a circle of love around us, we call upon all of our higher guides, the guides that are specifically assigned to see to us, to oversee us, to guide us, to protect us, as we ask all of these beings for guidance and clarity and for answers to our many questions. We call upon our higher self, our inner child and totem animal, and we ask together with the monad energy for this portal to be opened, to allow only that which is of the greatest of integrity and truth to be said and shared this day, to allow that which is relevant for each of us to be shared, and we ask for healing to come through. And as we accept this healing and integrate it, we give thanks for it, we share this back out to the world, so that we stay part of this beautiful circle of healing. As we give, we receive. As we receive, we give. We call upon the essence of the Ascended Masters, the ladies and the lords of light, the Kohan, the Elohim, the Cherubim, the Seraphim, and we ask these higher orders of light, together with the Celestial Council, as well as the Brotherhood, as well as the inner circle of the higher orders, to please bless us all on this planet at this time, to envelop this planet with a blanket of love, to ease the pain amongst us, to encapsulate us with their grace, to inspire us, for us to remain inspired, and in so doing to be able to inspire others, to keep our spirits high, to lift us up, and to hold us upon the hands of God and in the heart of Christ. We call upon and give thanks to Lady Gaia for allowing us entry for another gift of this lifetime, for allowing us to live on her, to breed on her, to feed on her, to feed off her. We call upon the essence of Kuthumi and Diana, our master teachers, world teachers, and all of those that you work with personally and collectively as a group. We give thanks to your energy, we give thanks to your teachings, to your lessons of love, your pearls of wisdom. We give thanks for being there, guiding us, uplifting us at times when we feel really low. We give thanks to you for never giving up on us, even when we've just about given up on ourselves. We give thanks for your love, for your guidance, and for helping us awaken. And so be it. I am Kuthumi, and I come forward upon the rays of love and wisdom to greet thee at this time, and to gift unto thee a profound gift of self-awareness and self-awakening. Greetings. It is with great joy within our hearts that we gather with you upon this day, as we hold each of you here firmly within the heart of Christ and securely upon the hands of God. Awareness, self-realization, self-awareness, self-realization. These are two of the most profound foundations of the new you. Beloved ones, these words run deep. For you to recognize and acknowledge your awareness of something. It explains that you are cognizant about it. When you are aware of something, you realize what the situation is about. You may not completely understand it as yet, but you realize what the awareness entails. By being aware, you open up new ventures and avenues for the self. For awareness brings about self-realization as part of that energy in an advanced stage. You first become aware and cognizant of life as it is, and your life in particular, as this is about you. This is not about you discussing the neighbor. This is about you discussing yourself. So by being aware, there is a deep realization of that which is and that which is not. And it is so fitting for the day because this is the celebration of the equinoxes. And the equinox is all about balance. It's all about bringing through balance. The balance of the seasons, the transition of growth and rest. It is the balance of the planetary moods that are held in these scales as you step into the scales of Libra this very day. So hanging in that balance, we give you today awareness and self-realization as the first two tools to work with when discovering the true essence of the new you. By becoming aware, you brings forth the realization that you are totally cognizant of a situation. By being cognizant about a situation, you understand it in some way, you perceive it in an ever bigger way, and therefore you then need to assimilate it or integrate it. Once you are able to assimilate and integrate, or both, or either or, you are able to digest for the self what your true perception and your reflection of this is. This is all part of teaching the self to open your horizons for you to become less judgmental, and for you to, with caution, analyze or look at a situation and make a sound observation. This is what awareness brings to you. Awareness takes the sting out of judgment, and it says, let's be cautious, let's look and analyze a situation, and before we place a verdict, in other words, a judgment, let us see what all of the aspects or the reflections or the fragments of this particular situation is, for us to make a sound decision instead of a critical verdict. So in other words, that is what awareness brings to you. It allows you to work with your own inner self, to release the self from the clutches of judgment and to introduce to you discernment. So through discernment, you are able to let go of judgment. And by letting go of judgment, it brings through a new awareness for you that will put you into self-realization. Once this gets into your self-realization pod, shall we say, or energy center, or aspect of yourself where you work with this, which of course is your solar plexus, a whole new ball game opens up. For you are now not only recognizing and assimilating and digesting probable outcomes without making a fierce judgment or placing your stamp on an absolute fixed verdict. You are now, through discernment, saying to the self, so let us look at the bigger picture here. Instead of going into critical judgment, through awareness, we are going to bring forth perception, realization. We are going to bring forth a new picture for us to assimilate and digest what this is giving to us, what is happening here. And through that, the very first bang on your beautiful tainted glass doors is going to be self-realization. Now, self-realization, beloved ones, before we venture any further, let me say this to you. Self-realization are as bigger words as unconditional love. Oh my word. When you say the word self-realization, say it lightly. Say it gently. And have the perception to say it with respect, with dignity. For self-realization in itself is a lesson that can take us another 3 years to discuss. Self-realization is huge. It's big. It's bigger than most of you. To step into the essence of self-realization, beloved ones, you may as well ascend. But we'll try and get you there, little by little. So the first part of self-realization is awareness. So by bringing awareness into your consciousness, for you to be cognizant of what is going on around you, for you to not only take a situation and plunge it into the depths of judgment, but through discernment to assimilate it, to be able to digest it in such a way that it makes sense to you, will bring to you a higher awareness. And that awareness is self-realization. Now what this is saying is, let us look at all of that which I've explained by way of the self. That is how you begin to digest a process through which you need clarity by placing awareness into it without becoming judgmental. Now in self-realization, you take that same awareness and that same judgment, which you've now dissected and converted into discernment, for us to get you slowly up into a ascended path. You then place this within your own energy field, your own portfolio, and this awareness becomes a realized aspect or essence of the self. Now, do you know how deep that runs? People have written books just on those two words, self-realization. They've written entire volumes on it. My visitations with you will be short and quick and to the point. You have now reached a stage in your life where your world has suffered through much trauma, beloved ones. You have suffered under the clutches of the Illuminati, the darkness, the denseness. You haven't had, in general, I am not referring to everyone here. I'm referring to the general neophyte, the general unawakened on your planet. Hasn't had a fantastic journey of explaining these things, what I've just explained. And that's about in a nutshell. I mean, I could go on and on and on about it, but I won't. I've said what I've said now. That's done. You want to hear it again? Read it. The neophyte, the unawakened, haven't had a electrifying journey of, let us teach you about awareness. Let us teach you about cognizance. Let us teach you about consciousness. Let alone cross the mountainous terrain of judgment and then the swamps of discernment, because discernment is going to take you through a swamp, and it depends on you of whether you are going to take to the deep or to the shallow or to the clear or to the murky. It depends on you. But these folk that are laying the foundations for the collective unconscious are slumbering in a sludge of murk. And they are struggling to get up from this murk, tar, mud. For they are not even aware that these processes are actually really a part of life. They may have read these words somewhere, but to put them into full perspective is a very difficult and an almost unobtainable and understandable process for them in many cases. Bless them. So, you see, the spiritual realm, us on the other side, that serve as world teachers of your world. We're not too much interested in the trivial things in your life. We're interested in everybody's lives. And you that served yourself, your exit point from the other side, an entry point into this side, and to awaken as a light worker, for you to be able to consciously understand awareness and then from there transcend yourself into self-realization. You are the very ones that we rely on, for lack of a better word, to lift this density, not to add to it. To lift the vibrational frequency of the sludge around the planet. You see, we actually depend on you in many ways, for there is much that we can, and then a whole lot that we can't do when it comes to the planetary transition. For if it wasn't for the consciousness of humanity that awakened to the extent that you called for this to come forth, it wouldn't have been. But it is because of you. So your responsibility is to help lessen the density, to lift and dissolve the smudge around the planet. And boy, oh boy, do you have a job on your hands. But you've been doing extremely well with this. Beloved ones, those from beyond the veils, there's not even a word I could use to truly translate in your language the excitement, the pleasure, and the satisfaction we feel for the work you have done on the planet and are doing and will be doing. And for that very reason, stop being so damn hard on yourselves. Stop putting yourself down, as many of you do. Some of you are very sensitive. This is all part of self-realization indeed. Whereas others are not all that sensitive. But what is sensitivity? Sensitivity could mean anything. Sensitivity is analogy. Sensitivity is a reaction. But sensitivity is very much part of your intuition. And what else does synchronicity bring to you but sensitivity? For if you're not sensitive about situations, you will never see the synchronicity in it. And through the synchronicity of events, you begin to put the picture together. You begin to fit the puzzles one at a time into the other. And therefore you begin to build for yourself a new overall picture of what your puzzle should be. Now you as light workers, are busy building pictures, new pictures, by fitting in new parts of your puzzle. Some of you are there to hold the intrinsic concept of the puzzle together, whilst others are there to expand from the puzzle, to lay new foundation, cut new parts, and then refit them into their divine perfect state. For each of you are part of the puzzle that makes the world work. Every one of you. Even if, no matter how trivial, how insecure, how not worthy you feel, shame, you are. So get over it. You are. Every one of you is needed. Each of you are needed for your divine imprint. For each of you together creates a graceful soul song for this planet. And that's what you came to do. And when you transcend, it simply means that your song is changing from being part of the Earth soul songs. You now are fully claiming your individual soul song, and you become part of creation soul song again. But you don't go anywhere. You don't change in such a way that you can't recognize yourself. So bring that awareness into your mind and begin to use your meditations and your activations to send through pulses of energy that will share this with the world, which is why I'm keeping these new visits very short. For you don't have a long concentration span, let's face it. So in a nutshell, for you to be able to birth yourself into a full state of realization, you need to realize that awareness plays such a massive, massive role in everything. When you realize that, we ask you to release yourself from the clutches of your own judgment through discernment. And if you do that, a whole new process unfolds. And as I've just explained this, which forms part of the basis of the new you, for you to fully understand yourself in a better way, which seems to be incredibly challenging for many of you these days, take this pocket of wisdom, all 25 minutes of it that I've just shared. Utilize this, apply it into your own life, and then see yourself move up your own ladder of consciousness to begin to reclaim yourself into a divine state of self-realization. So the first level of self-realization that we introduce to you today is to create a level of awareness. And by creating a level of awareness, we say to you, take this bit of information, read it, listen to it, share it, and then inscribe it into the ethers around your planet. Visualize this as part of the golden essence that explodes into every crown on your planet. For those of you that do the meditation, or even just see it as is. Simply visualize this explosion of light and color. Place it into every bit of consciousness that you can find. And in so doing, begin to pave the way for you to create a new puzzle, to overlay the old, to release the density from your collective. And in so doing, to begin to recycle the old thoughts and patterns that your neophyte or those of density or dim and light, or those that are a little bit asleep or totally unconscious, are imprinting in the worlds around you. Change it. Change it. Beloved ones, by bringing that awareness onto the self, it requires of you to begin to view things through a different viewpoint, to see things in a different light, to see things in a new way. And that is the birth of self-realization, is when you're able to actually be so aware that you allow yourself to begin to see things in a new light. That is when self-realization begins to take a solid form, in the sense of laying the foundations for the birth of your samadhi. That is like ascending. So to get you off the ground and to fuel you with some spiritual jet engine, we bring to you awareness. We ask you to, as an exercise, when you go through your daily life, to become aware of life around you. To become aware of where you can lend a hand and where you can lend a heart. You say, oh no, I'm not able to lend a hand. I'm rather busy these days. But to lend a heart is a fraction, takes a fraction of your time and uses but a fraction of your energy. Yet, it can move mountains. It can change puzzles from the dark and muddled into the calm and clear. It can bring balance and it can bring peace, beloved ones. And that's what the celebration of this day brings to you, is balance and peace. For by God, that's what you need. That's what everybody needs. And sometimes the more imbalanced they are, the more balanced they think they are. So much so, they tipple their own scales. So on the scale of awareness, where does your self-realization stand? That's what you need to ask yourself. And what a beautiful way to introduce these scales today on the birth of Libra. Remember these things. Remember. Work with these things. Allow these things to form the cornerstones of your foundation. Work with the tools that you are given. You've been given so many tools. Integrate these complexities into your being. Put your state of awareness in every one of your chakras, or your energy centers. as this channel likes to refer to them. Your energy levels. And then allow your energy levels to give to you a map of where you are at on your journey of self-realization. And we will discuss this as we move along. So for now, visualize this self-realization and the awareness as a portal. Stand under it. Allow this portal of light to open up, to shine through all of your energy levels, your energy centers, your chakras. From the 12th chakra, all the way down, in the 12th chakra, see this or feel this awareness as a magnificent sparkling diamond hovering above your head, encapsulating everything that you are. Allow the sparkling diamond to awake a magnificent ruby in your base. Visualize that ruby. Allow this diamond light to ascend up through the grids into the seat of creation, simply becoming part of the lattice of life, the lattice of the cosmos, the lattice of existence. Whereas the ruby descends down below into the core of the earth, where it anchors a similar lattice, a magnetic lattice of grounding, of anchoring, of protection, of reality on earth. Allow these two energies to hold you firmly within this space. Allow the ruby at the base to pulse frequencies of new awareness into your being, whereas the diamond at the top, in the 12, pulse new awareness as you knock on your door for you to adorn yourself with the divine gift of self-realization. Visualize this in your quiet time. Visualize this and give this gift unto others. The diamond frequency is the new frequency of the planet. You all know that. It's not new to you. It's not news. Because the transformation on your planet that is planned is beyond any one of your perception. beloved ones. In time to come, there is a life of such love and beauty that awaits. And it's each and every one of you that may come to hear or read these words, and millions of those who do not, who are not even aware of these words that I speak of, that bring through this balance, that allows this to be through all of that I've just shared. Let this sit and settle within you. Let this settle in your being. And so then, we will leave it at that, for you to ponder on and chew on, integrate and enjoy, to work through and share. May the light of the living Christ live within you. May you illuminate the world wherever you go. And remember that not now or not ever can you be alone. For we are all one and we are with you. I am Kuthumi. I am the Lord and the Master Koan of the golden rays of love and wisdom. And I greet and I bless thee in love. Adonai. I'd like to thank Spirit for this time together. And I'd like to wish each of you well that are listening to this and integrating this and using it and sharing it. Thank you.